The Call of Duty campaign, a staple of the franchise, and the roots for a gaming behemoth that has been around for almost 20 years now. We have seen so many iterations over the years, from the early days of the World War II campaigns, the over-the-top action of Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3, these strange years that happen in between, and more recently, the gritty, realistic and contemporary campaigns that began with Modern Warfare 2019. Some have been top tier, such as World at War. However, some, well, not so much.
Outcome? Train go boom. Outcome? Train go boom. Outcome? Train go boom. Outcome? Train go boom. What do you think I'm gonna say next?
In truth though, I was extremely excited for the new Modern Warfare 2 campaign. Infinity Ward had knocked it out of the park with their 2019 story, with characters finally worth caring about and an awesome amount of mission variety. Cold War was also great, so all was pointing towards Modern Warfare 2 having a great story too. If they could just expand on these characters more and continue the story from the first game, then surely we were in for a great experience. Well, grab some night vision goggles and some popcorn as I review the Modern Warfare 2 2022 version, and let's see if my lofty expectations can be met.
Right, lads, well, we're in position.
Bravo team offloads here. Alpha team stays on board to land downrange. This is capture or kill.
Ya son más de 10 años metiéndole y todavía sueno como nuevo.
Let's begin with a recap of the story. Modern Warfare 2019 began with Russian gas being stolen by unknown forces, but we can assume they are freedom fighters. At the same time as this, terrorist attacks are happening all over the world, such as London. Gaz and Price assess the situation in London and decide something needs to be done to stop the forces known as Al-Qatala. Farah Karim is also introduced early on and is the leader of a group in Urzikstan that fight against the Russian occupation. The next important character introduced to us is Alex, who is a US soldier sent to help in Urzikstan. He forms a bond with Farah and wants to help her take out General Barkov. You see, General Barkov is the main antagonist of the game and is the Russian leader of Urzikstan. He is also responsible for the creation of the Russian gas. Whilst intercepting a Russian convoy in the middle stages of the game, things go wrong, and Hadir reveals his secret, that he was the one that stole the gas all along. This makes him the enemy in the eyes of our newly found group. Hadir is tracked down, and the location of the gas factory is revealed. In the last mission, we storm this factory and aim to take it down. However, as we progress, the detonator is broken, and Alex makes the decision to sacrifice himself for the good of the team, as this is a mission that he believes in.
Barkov, you can't do both. I've been an assignment my whole life. This is what I believe in. Give me the order.
You are a freedom fighter, Alex.
You're a born leader, Farah. Say the word.
Go.
Farah then takes out General Barkov, and the factory explodes. A fitting end with some closure. However, it still brings questions moving into the sequel, such as what really happened to Alex, and is Hadir still out there? MW2 had a great base to build off. However, it's the storyline that I see as the weakest point of this campaign. The story begins with a familiar face. Our forces then use a missile to take out General Ghorbrani during a weapons deal. However, this leads to the main antagonist of this game, Hassan, taking his place. After Hassan's dealings over the coming months continue to spark the interest of the USA, forces are deployed to hunt him down. These forces include Simon Ghost Riley and Soap, aka John McTavish. This, however, is the first issue I have with the Modern Warfare 2 campaign. It's a problem mainly created by the Warzone storyline, as the reveal of seeing these characters felt like less meaningful due to their involvement in the Warzone storyline. Ghost, for example, was revealed in the seasonal trailer for Modern Warfare 2019, and I feel there were so many missed opportunities for a big reveal of such a fan favourite character.
Rice, something's wrong in Verdansk. They're targeting their own. We need to find out why.
I will get on to how I think Warzone impacts the story later on, but I think it's worth a mention here. After Hassan gets away, we find that he is in possession of US missiles, and so the mission is set. We are then introduced to Alejandro Vargas and Rodolfo, who are part of the Mexican Special Forces, and are trying to track down Hassan due to his involvement with the cartels. The leader of the Shadow Company, Philip Graves, is also introduced at this point, and will become a key character later down the line. Hassan is finally captured, but is forced to be let go due to not wanting to start more political tension. Gaz and Price then head to a facility in Spain that is said to contain missiles. However, on their escape, Laswell is captured and taken to Urzikstan. We then have an epic rescue mission to get her out, where Farah Karim helps out. This is a good example on how to bring back old characters in a meaningful way. After saving Laswell in a mission that drags on a bit, we find out what the other characters are up to. They were finding out the identity of Elsa Nombre. She is revealed to be Valeria and is someone who Vargas is familiar with. She provides the location of the missiles, and a raid on a cargo ship and oil rig is launched. The missile is set off, however, but at the last second we change its course and we blow up the oil rig instead. This saves many people, but we find out there's another missile out there. We next get the part of the campaign that I find the most disappointing. The key part of the original Modern Warfare 2 storyline was Shepard's betrayal, where he shoots Roach and Ghost. The parallel between that and his subsequent turn in this game are so obvious, but the stakes feel so much lower here, with all the characters getting away and Graves simply claiming the base as his own. I really don't understand why it was necessary to use the same type of twist involving General Shepard again, and it feels like his whole involvement in the story is for that exact reason. Soap is found to be very hurt after a gunshot. In an awesome mission, he must regroup with Ghost. This is my favourite mission, as it uses new mechanics that I will get onto later, and the comedy and connection between Ghost and Soap is great to see here. An attack is then launched on Graves' new base in order to free Alejandro and his soldiers, which ends up being successful. We then find out that Shepard and Graves were the responsible ones for losing the 3 missiles in the first place, after a failed transport mission, and have subsequently covered it up. We then suit up as Ghost Team in one of the most epic scenes in any Call of Duty game, to take out Graves.
141 and lost for Vaqueros on this. We're a team. Ghost Team.
We are not done there, however, as the group needs to find the last missile and take out Hassan in Washington DC. Soap is met by Hassan, who seems to have the better of him. Instead, we take control of Ghost and snipe Hassan, putting an end to his reign. The bomb is disarmed and all seems well, until the ending cutscene, where a new face is revealed. Price and the gang all seem to recognise him, and then
Who
boom,
is he?
it's revealed.
Makarov.
Yes, Makarov is back, and then in the secret end credit scene, we get this. An ending I did not expect, but one, it gets me extremely hyped for the next game, even despite the flaws I have with this one. You see, the story just seems very basic. The game feels like a wild goose chase at times, for the missiles and Hassan, with Graves thrown in there as an additional threat. As I mentioned before, Warzone's story had a poor impact on this game. Character reveals such as Ghost and Soap felt lackluster due to their involvement in that storyline. The worst part about the Warzone story was that they revealed Alex to be alive in a trailer of all things. This could have been an epic scene in the game where he was finally revealed to be out there after all these years, but we've been speculating about what happened to him. There was also a theory once upon a time about him being Ghost. This could have been tapped into a lot more. I mentioned before that I didn't like the twist involving Shepard. I would have preferred if they focused more on the evil side of Graves, rather than using Shepard again. I also feel that Hassan is a boring main villain, and it didn't captivate me to take him down like previous COD villains. This is a franchise-wide problem in my opinion, with the last notable name for me being Raul Menendez. Backstory was expanded on way more than recent COD villains. On a positive note however, I do think the new characters that were introduced were fantastic. I really enjoyed the brotherly bond between Vargas and Rodolfo, the secrecy of Valeria, and I began to enjoy the evil side of Graves, even if it was quite predictable. Captain Price and Gaz were also very likeable, and their bond has clearly grown in between the games. Ghost and Soap were good too despite their poor introduction. They seemed like great friends and told funny jokes, which provided some comedy at times, providing some relief where the game gets a bit too serious. I've heard rumours that a Ghost campaign is in the works, and I would love to see this. This would expand more on his backstory and maybe how he met Soap. Overall, the storyline for Modern Warfare 2 is nothing to write home about. The core storyline is quite predictable and the stakes for the game feel really low. I'm by no means saying that they should kill off characters to make the game more impactful, but we're now 2 games into the story and no main characters on the so-called good side have been lost. I would have also liked to see more of a connection between the 2019 game and Modern Warfare 2. Stories feel a bit separated and relies on the player knowing the Warzone storyline, which simply many people don't.
All stations, Racer 1 is bracketed, we're getting lit. Incoming! Flares! Flares!
Moving on to the areas of the game that I find to be actually worthwhile, we must first look at the gameplay and mechanics. The core mechanics of COD are still here, smooth gunplay and good hit registration that Call of Duty is known for. Where this game excels however is in its sound design and presentation. I mentioned it during my multiplayer review, but it's most clear in the campaign where the gunplay is much slower. Listen to how realistic these guns sound.
Soap with me. Soap, move up.
It's not just the guns though. The way the soldiers move and the attention to detail and tactics used leads the market in the shooter genre. Another example of this is the night vision areas. You can really feel the advantage the US forces have when they turn them on. It really immerses you into the gameplay. That word of immersion is the one best used to describe the experience when playing this campaign. All the tiny details add up to make you feel like you really are in the middle of a war zone. This level of immersion does make you ignore the somewhat forgettable storyline at times, as I found myself trying to experience the realism the game had to offer during the missions themselves. Speaking about the missions themselves, this is another huge strength that the Modern Warfare 2 campaign provides.
Stand by.
Roger that.
TV, scan for targets with an armed guard.
The level of variety here is outstanding. From stealth missions, to controlling AC-130s and raining down destruction, or even the traditional shooting galleries COD became known for over the last decade. This game truly has it all. My 2 favourite missions that showcase this are Recon by Fire and Alone. Recon by Fire is set in Spain, and is a callback to probably the most iconic mission in COD history, All Gillied Up. Early on we have some stealth, and then shortly after we have an awesome sniping section. Next is my favourite part of the whole game, an open stealth section where we must infiltrate 2 buildings. The option the game gives here is simply stunning. A backpack with tools, such as C4 for the doors, or gas to throw through the vents is given, and each option allows different gameplay scenarios and therefore much more replayability. This mission also has some dialogue choices, which is a nice addition and allows for some interesting interactions between the characters.
Watcher.
Go for Watcher.
Good to be back in the field.
I'm here because this happened on my watch.
The mission Alone is set in Mexico and happens right after the twist involving Shepard and Graves. Soap is injured, has nothing, and as the title suggests, alone. He does have comms with Ghost however, who guides him through to the meeting point. In this mission we get some more awesome stealth sections, but also the introduction of crafting. This crafting system is quite simple, but it again gives the player choice on how they want to approach the level, and gives off the feeling of Soap being alone and having to fend for himself. The interaction between Soap and Ghosts here are also hilarious, providing some comedic relief in serious times. This also builds on their characters more, and shows their strong friendship.
I'm worried. Worried's different.
Chuck the ball. Word like a charm.
Told ya. Pay attention and you just might learn something.
In conclusion, it is safe to say this game has its ups and downs. Similar to Modern Warfare 2019, its gunplay, presentation and sound design is better than any other first-person shooter I have ever played, and provides a superb level of immersion. This immersion is the main strength for the game, alongside its mission variety that keeps the player hooked throughout the whole game. Its story is for sure the weakest area, and does hold the game back in reaching that top bracket of Call of Duty campaigns. It's for these reasons that I give Modern Warfare 2's campaign a 78 out of 100 score. It's an immersive experience that's still worth a try despite the issues I have with the story. It is a shame for me, because with a strong storyline, this game could reach the low 90s. I would still recommend this game's campaign to most people. Call of Duty fans will still find some enjoyment with fan favourite characters and smooth gameplay, and anyone who likes to be immersed in a realistic war environment will find plenty of that here.